yeah, some people aren't going to want to solve the problem, but plenty of people do. But it's just being able to actually drill down into who those people are, which brings me on to another key point, which is, whose problem is it?
Yeah. So at the risk of kind of, being Mr. Controversial,
Go for it.
which, as you know, is a cat that
Now's your chance. Let's do it.
It never fits very well with me, that cat. It really should be the people with the need and the budgets. I mean, where we often get into these quite circular debates around, so is it an HR-driven program because it's resourcing? Is it procurement-driven program because it's spend? Well, who are they working for? They're working for the business owners, stakeholders, the ones who are leveraging these resources. And so if I could put the responsibility of these programs anywhere, I'd put it in the realm of Chief Operating Officer, for example, or Chief Transformation Officer, somebody who is actually looking line of sight down the organization. Because once you have that, then the rationale for improvement becomes clear. You're 100% right. You need a change agent to actually make inroads in doing this, but you need a sponsor. And I work with some very effective CPOs, but those CPOs need to get sponsorship from somebody else to do a lot of the big change programs. And so you need to look at this through the lens of who do I think is going to be the biggest beneficiary? And it was always a mystery to me where people will say, we can't do consulting first because there's so much sensitivity around consulting. What are you talking about? Why? Go after consulting first, because that is where the real heat map is. That's where the senior people that really need to be assured. Yep, they're the ones with the best relationships. Of course you start there. What?
We're seeing more people. We're seeing less people saying, "Oh, you couldn't do that." We're seeing much less people saying that.
So I think from an ownership standpoint, the other thing is about procurement are not the buying process. Procurement play a role in the buying process, and that's another thing that you tend to often gets confused. It's all procurement centric. Well, what you've got to do is say, what role does procurement play in your organization? How do you make sure that's really enabling your business? And then you have the processes to support that. But again, I keep going back to the center of gravity has got to be the people with the need and the budget. I've worked with organizations where HR have played a leading role in this. It's a different mechanism, different perspective, but it also, does create the ability for a more holistic view on how we bring in resources into our organization. But I think that's where we often get stuck, because if you want procurement to own it, procurement have got to have a transformational agenda, a transformational mindset. They've got to have the trust, the credibility, credential in the organization to get things done. They've got to be listened to. They've got to be ahead of the curve in terms of the requirements. And that's not always a definition of a lot of in-house procurement